Well, hey, kids, dreamers, and jammers. Welcome to another Park Streamers Hangout. I am Theme Park Casual here with my co host, Cordy in California, and Bob, Berry Place 28. I hope you guys are in for a fun evening. It is going to be a packed show tonight with lots of news. We do have a special guest, but it's a special guest panelist, so it will be a lot of commentary on what we're talking about rather than an interview style guest. But before that, let's introduce our co-host properly. Cordy, would you let everybody know where they can find you?
Sure thing. Hello, everyone. Cordy in California. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, back on TikTok again, Twitch, and my Discord.
Awesome. Thank you. And Bob, Berry Place 28, would you let everybody know where they can find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook, and Berry Place 28.
Awesome. Thank you. And I am Theme Park Casual, as I said. You can find me on YouTube, X, and Instagram, all of them at Theme Park Casual. So before we get started, we'd like to say hi to everybody in the chat. Bob, Cordy, who do we have in the chat?
Well, we have first Eric Schwartz with a membership. Thank you so much for that, Eric.
Thank you. Eric Flag's in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. We've got Donald's fan. Hello, hello. Mike Smith.
Ewan Kamiya.
Magic continues. Go.
We're like time right on. Night Rush 79. I'll say it again. Mattercam Matt, aka.
Magic continues. Barbara Duncan. Good vibes is happening. Good vibes.
Hello, Tom. Oh, I think you have to say this one, TPC. If only.
Oh, no.
Yes.
None of that. None
you
of
must
that.
Say it.
They are in my chat all the time trying to get me to say it.
It's
and I
March,
simply say, greetings, March, banana foam cold brew.
Banoffee.
And then they go and name the frozen banana thing the same thing.
I love it.
That's how awful they are to me.
Yeah. It kind of makes me wonder if they did it just for you, Theme Park Casual.
I think they did.
Yeah.
I think they did. Just like I think they got the idea for Hoppers thanks to me and Murder Beaver's wonderful little relationship.
Right. Let's see. We got Chad Pritchard, Mr. Doggy Dog 68, Buddy Hepburn,
Krista Joe, Christina Homey, GV.
Weird Old Man, what's happening?
Oh.
Magic continues. Hello. Thanks for hanging out with me last night for a little bit.
ZHZ Podcast. Is that our own Matt there?
Yeah, that's our own Mattercam Matt. Teacher Tammy D. Hello.
Hello, Aurora. And we got EXP626. I wasn't sure, but say it again.
We can always say it again.
PV559.
Mitch's Art Venture 53.
We get Barbara Duncan. Hi, Barbara.
Yeah. Let's see. Anyone else?
Said Teacher Tammy, but hi, Tammy.
Laura loves Disney 4.
I'm sure we got good vibes. Good vibes.
Mystery guest, welcome in.
Hey, Mr. Guest. Let's see. I think we're caught. Are we caught up now?
I think.
Oh, we have Christina Holmes. Hey, Christina.
Christina!
What's happening?
Berry Place 28 is in there. Hello, Berry Place 28.
I know. You know, it's funny. I thought I saw Theme Park Casual in Cordy in California. It's like romper room. Hey,
Every time you got to be a certain age to get that joke. I think I'm not sure. I'm not sure if people much younger than us get that joke.
That's true. That's okay.
Or at least have that
the
same
older ones will
nostalgia for
appreciate it. Right.
So
I see Cordy and Danny and Matt and Tom.
I need to find it. I had to make one. I forget why we were doing this for work, but I have a romper room. We had to make something with a paper plate. So I made a romper room.
You did the magic mirror.
Yes.
Nice.
That's funny. Kat, how are you? Welcome in. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I get the joke. I'm old. Teacher Tammy D says.
Yeah. Well, speaking of,
I know
what
we're talking
people,
about. Go look it up.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, speaking of, I can see people. I see someone that is going to be joining us right now. He's a good friend of the channel. I've been hanging out with him for years at this point online, and sometimes even at the parks. But would you guys welcome our good friend VashSky, who just launched a new channel called the VashSky Parkcast.
Hello there.
He
Thank you so much
Hello,
for
what's
having
happening?
me. Absolutely. VashSky Parkcast just taken off. I just looked at the numbers right now. 1.6 when it comes to subscribers. That is awesome. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank you so much to every one of you out there that has made that dream possible. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? After the show, why don't you go on over and hit that little sub button right there. Casual, Cordy,
Yes.
Bob, thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, there it is.
Ooh.
Oh, I like
See,
it.
I was waiting for that. You still got it.
So I just want to say, you guys, you definitely want to go and subscribe to Vash's channel. One of our mods will drop the link in the chat.
I'm
but
dropping it right now.
If you have any affection or whatever toward my commentary, go to VashSky, because you'll get a similar mindset, but from someone who's very much way smarter than me. So
I don't know about more intelligent, but
Yeah.
Casual, you certainly have a much better eye than I do when it comes to theme design and
stop.
logos and graphics and everything else like that. So I'm just trying to keep up. And if you want to go ahead and subscribe to somebody trying to keep up, well, there you go. That's where you can subscribe.
Our very own Christina Homie here has subscribed. So there you go. Thank you,
Ooh.
Christina.
Thank you so much.
And she probably
That's
hit that
super cool.
subscribe button with a stank leg.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got. Wait, here we go. Eric, thank you as well.
Thank you, guys.
Barbara
Barbara,
says,
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know. Let's see. Vash, what do you think of this?
Barbara Duncan, and not afraid to say Banoffee.
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 Banoffee. I don't
Banoffee.
think that's
Banana.
something wrong with that.
I am completely anti that name. It is such a silly marketing name that
I
I'm just
see.
like, you know what? I'm not going to say it. So,
So, Vash, when you just call them up and just say Banoffee and hang up.
Yes.
Sounds like fun to me.
sounds like
haven't
fun.
heard from you in a while. Casual, awesome
Yeah.
stuff. Banoffee.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I think
Threaten
that's
me with a
something
good
that
time.
I think that's something that everyone should do when they goes to Theme Park Casuals live streams now.
Yes.
Oh, Banoffee.
Exactly.
It's gonna be like this. He's playing his March Madness, and everyone's supposed to say Pluto, and they're like Banoffee.
Yeah, I know exactly. Everybody's going to be.
You're like,
All right,
you don't
well,
win.
I know my next member emoji. It's going to be a coffee with a banana sticking in it.
Well, you could say, strawberry and cream frappuccino Banoffee with extra strawberry puree. I'm just saying, right?
Solid choice.
Strawberry Field Fairy, how are you? Welcome in. Do we have anyone else join us?
Mitch's Art Ventures, welcome.
Oh. Yes. Okay, I don't see anyone else. I thought maybe we had a couple other people.
All right. Well, let's
right.
jump right into our first topic. And it is the recent After Dark event that had some surprising, fun stuff that would have been really cool to be able to experience. And our good friend Cordy did get to experience it. So, Cordy, what were your thoughts on this event? Let's see, what were your thoughts going in, and then did it meet your expectations?
Okay. Thoughts going in. I've been and I'm not doing 6-7, but I kind of been like, I was loving them. And then last year I was kind of like, I don't know. Like I felt like kind of a dip in the quality of the events. But I've said, if there's a new event, I'm going, right? I at least want to see anything new that they offer. And there was all the, I wonder if it's just going to be just like Disney Channel Night. I wonder if it's just going to be like, just cookie cutter of something else. So, but that's kind of where I am with it. Like, okay, I'm going to go in, and I didn't watch any streams. I kind of ninja'd a little bit in certain, just quickly in everyone's streams on Tuesday.
So you went second night.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just was like, don't rain.
Right.
Not rain. I really, really enjoyed, like, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I think it was more around, I don't know, me just enjoying it. Like, it was fun to me, but I don't know if you were to like break it out and like, did they have this? Did they have that? How was the food? You know, because there was no cavalcade. I didn't have any of the foods. There was one food item that I was going to try that they used to have just on the menu, the poutine fries over at Red Rose Tavern, because I used to get those all the time, and then they never made it back, you know, after. So,
Yeah.
And then they had the banana split. So I was like, I'm going to have both of those. I had neither. I canceled both orders.
Yeah.
I just got to keep moving. So, you know, the food was very limited, which I think has kind of been a trend, right? Even with we'll talk about the food festivals, but that's how it's been, you know, for those as well. There were like a ton of photo opportunities, which I think was great, right? There were the backdrops. And then of course there were characters, and it seemed like every time I passed a character photo op, the characters were out there. So just in my experience, right? So I'm like, okay, they're keeping, you know, doing pretty good. They were letting everyone kind of take their time. So whatever you wanted to say, and, you know, you want to show them your plushie, you want to do this. It was like, there was really no time limit. So it was a bit of a wait for all of them.
That was I was going to ask that part next. Is, you know, how are the wait times when they're letting guests too? And I get the double-edged sword that is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, do you rush guests through and let everybody have, you know, a 10-second experience, or do you let people enjoy it so that maybe not everybody gets the experiences, but the people that do have a wonderful experience?
Yes.
So I get that. I know that it's really tough for them to balance that. So, but
yeah, I know. And you know, I kind of go back and forth. I just was the only time. So I only got to do 3, I think. I waited 90 minutes for the Main Street Electrical Parade.
wow.
And let me tell you, the Main Street Electrical Parade was cool looking, but I was like, why are you waiting so long for this? It's crazy.
Well, they say 30 minutes. So everybody in line was laughing like, okay, we hit the 30-minute mark, and we're like only, you know, a third of the way there. Right. So when you walk up, 30 minutes. But then once you're in, you're like, well, I might as well just wait. What I did find out was, I guess because the lines were so long Tuesday, right? It was like 2 hours was pretty much the norm. And I ran into Carlo and Kiko's Adventures. They were actually, I was in Fantasyland because I'm like, let me get some rides out of the way at 8 o'clock, right? Because it's not going to start till 9. Well, they went over to Small World and they opened it up at, I think at 8 o'clock, like early. Because, you know, show your wristband, right? And good. So they got that out of the way, and by 8:30, they were in line for Merlin.
Okay. Wow.
So that was something where you don't know, right? That wasn't how they did it Tuesday, but they just happened to go over there, and they were like, we're just going to wait for that one and get that out of the way, and they opened early. It was really cool. You got to take a picture with both. They had the photographers were there for those. It looked like there were photographers for everything, like even with the backdrops, because sometimes there isn't, right? Like, you're like, okay, can you take my picture? And then we went on a couple rides, but then I got a picture with Lewis, Tiana's, you know, from Tiana. And but that one, I was like, oh my gosh, please. That's when I was getting a little like, oh, everybody gets to take so much time because they're like 5 more minutes and Tiana will be back, who I love, but I have pictures with her, right? So I'm like, but I want Lewis. So I made it in time. We pixie dusted it and we made it in time. But yeah, so I did that one, and then I took a picture. So that took about 25 minutes, I think. Because he just came out. Yeah, so that was fine. I'm like, 25 minutes, that, you know, I'm good with that. But no one was really back there because it was in, you know, whose corner back way deep in there.
Right.
And then I just took a picture with the Bugs Land vehicles. So that one was short because, you know, everybody was waiting in line for Flick and Ada right across the way. So. Right. But there were so many. I mean, it was like the Skyway buckets. The line was humongous. And I have one.
I didn't see that part. Was it the real bucket and everything?
No, it's like it's a backdrop, so you sit on something and then the board
gotcha.
has.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got that. I think at Throwback Night was when I got a picture with that one.
Mhm.
So I was like, I'm good. I got that.
So
Yeah,
how does, since this one was kind of like a throwback night, and I was wondering how much variation there would be, how different did this one feel than throwback night?
I mean, it just seemed like it was just like a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Like they just kind of threw it out there. The sound, I think it's Sounds of Music, I believe is what they called it, where they were on the raft.
Yeah.
Sounds of Magic.
Oh, Sounds of Magic.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
That's not naming.
I can't remember all the.
I know.
Exactly.
They were singing. There was music.
Right.
Sound was coming out. That was really nice, though. That was great.
It was. I like the set list, right? I like how they had Animazement in there. That was pretty cool. I think they had Tiana's Jubilee in there a little bit, which was awesome. But I think that what was remarkably disappointing, at least from my perspective, right? I didn't go, but I like the shows, like the spectaculars. I like everything like that. That was really your only unique entertainment item for the entire night. I think they were supposed to have like a castle moment, 70 years of favorites in front of the castle, but never went off. I'm not sure what happened there. But
really?
Yeah, there were times listed. There were 5 times listed in the app. People went in front of the castle waiting for it. Never arrived.
Wow.
Don't know what's going on there.
But you could watch Tapestry.
Yeah, Tapestry. It's like
I was going to say,
all the time.
Tapestry of Happiness has been one of my favorite things from the 70th anniversary. Every time I watch that show, I tell my viewers, whoever did that show is a Disneylander.
Yes.
Is someone that knows Disneyland and what makes Disneyland special. What are those little moments and things that a Disneylander looks for, and they nailed it with that show.
Yeah.
And I must commend them for playing that. It's just a problem with that show is that, well, I can see that on any other night, right? I mean, this is a $160 event. And so I was just a little bit disappointed that we didn't have more of those unique entertainment offerings. I know they had Videopolis and they had something in the Golden Horseshoe, but it's like, come on, guys. Like,
but here's my thing with Videopolis. It was over at the Fantasyland Theater, which is an amazing spot for it. It was huge. It was fun, and then when they do, we would put it over here in the Tomorrowland Terrace with Richard Lay. Okay, great.
Bluey, right? Because they're still setting everything up for Bluey,
right.
So I think that was part of the reason.
Yeah. No, that's obviously the reason.
I get that, but it just, to me, it's like, well, you want Videopolis? It's coming back, and they made this big deal out of it, and it was this small little thing, and I didn't.
Can I tell you though, my favorite thing of the entire night?
It was.
I heard that. Yes.
I didn't go there first because I'm like, if I go there, I am not going to leave. So I did everything.
And they had a famous DJ, famous to the area of LA, like the
Richard
Lay. For K Rock, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's actually a huge name from our era. Gigantic name.
Yeah,
which is great.
That right there, still alive, I would have loved that.
That's being in tune with your audience, being in tune with who might actually arrive at an event like this, who would be most appreciative of that. That's all of that synergy right there. Awesome stuff. Yeah. I just would have liked to have seen that in other places. But
that area was packed. Everybody was, and he was like, because I grew up in Northern California, so I didn't experience it back in the day, right? So, but I was like, he was amazing. Like, he was eye contact with everybody. He signed, I don't even know how many things he signed, but I did get his autograph. Selfies, right? He was like, he was loving it. Like, you could feel that energy, and I thought it was just the best thing of the night, personally.
And that's kind of interesting that's the takeaway. It's like, it's something that technically wasn't even a Disneyland thing because he wasn't part of Disneyland. It was the celebrity of it and somebody that just knows how to work a crowd. And then you add in all the nostalgic music, of course, but
I was going to say that's what it mainly is. But see, I was wondering how it was going to be, and I was watching your stream, Cordy, and I was seeing what it was like. I saw a couple other streams on Tuesday, and I was thinking, okay, did I make a mistake by not buying a ticket? And I got to be honest with you, the more and more I watched, the more I went, glad I didn't spend $160 to go to this thing. I guess my feeling is that, look, it was the one I was probably looking forward to the most out of all the two new ones. But I've been to Disney Channel night, and I was excited to go. That I'm not going to go because my daughter decided she doesn't want to go. Even though I had a great time, I thought, well, I'll pass right now because it's a lot of money to spend. You think about it, it's only 4 hours, and when you spent 90 minutes, and again, the floats, the picture, setup was amazing. With the Main Street Electrical Parade, floats,
Yes.
but it was cool. But I was like, 90 minutes. It's how I felt when I went to Star Wars night last year, and I was like, I went to go see Darth Vader. And it took me an hour, or almost 2 hours, and the event is only 4 hours long. So it's like I spent almost half my time with, going to see, these characters here, and I felt like it was a waste of my money, and I didn't get my money's worth. Everything looked cool, but photo op wise. But then, like Bash said, nothing happened on front of the castle. No cavalcade. Very limited on food. I didn't even check to see what people are doing for the merch, but was there a lot of merch, or did they sell out right away? Because the past events they had last year, they were selling out all the merch before the event started, and it was like, what?
No, I don't. I'm not a merch person. So I didn't even go over there. I'm not a merch person. But I don't know if they have much. I don't think they did. I don't think they had a pin or anything like that. And even we didn't get anything at that event. We didn't get a patch or those little pins. They were giving us like the.
Oh yeah, they usually do a magic key item, don't they?
We just got our lanyard. This was our commemorative.
Oh, they're going cheap this year. Wow. So charge just the same and giving you less and less. And that's the thing. That's our biggest complaint. No fireworks, no cavalcade. Now we're not giving anything out to the magic key holders. I mean, they just keep taking away, but charging the same or charging more, and they're not giving anything really new. That's my complaint.
And that was my issue with it, right? Because it's you're talking about a $160 event. Look, if you're coming in from out of state, maybe it's a good value, right? Because there's no wait for lines, and you're walking in there. Even if you have a limited hour set, your experience is going to be a little bit heightened than maybe you could get on a normal day. But for annual pass holders, you have to convince them to pay out even more money after the, in some cases, $1,900 worth of pass that they've already shelled out for. So it's like, let's load this up. Let's really make this an event worth going to. You could have very easily done a custom projection show instead of Tapestry of Happiness. Why don't you go ahead and lead into Tapestry of Happiness, maybe do a roundup of all of the projection shows that may have been part of the Small World facade in recent years, right? Could have had a rotation of that. You could have had a custom fireworks show. You could have had Star Tours hijacked, and now you got the original playing in that in the Star Tours ride vehicles right there. I understand C-3PO's in there, but he can be hijacked by Rex. It's okay. Captain EO maybe playing in the Magic Eye Theater. There were a multitude of things that you could have implemented that wouldn't have cost that much, but would have provided so much more value. And this event right here never sold out on the days it was offered. So clearly,
that's the thing I was going to ask. I was going to say, did this sell out? Because if it didn't sell out, that is Disney's warning sign that people are starting to lose interest in these after hours events, and they either better step up their game, charge less, or just nix some of these after hours events.
And do we have confirmation? Because somebody told me they did sell out day of. But could that have been something where they're like, we really didn't sell out like what they would want, but they just said it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
It didn't sell out in advance, and that's a big thing. And they did release the entertainment schedule early, which a lot of people were like, okay, they're trying to induce more sales because sales are down. Demand is down for at least this event. There have been some others that have been questionable and so forth. But look, when you compare to something like Universal Studios Hollywood and what they're doing for FanFest nights for like half the price, it's no comparison. Why would you spend time at this event even if you are a Disneyland fan? I got a magic key that can give me, over 300 days of access, if you can secure that many days, of course. But, to pay for something like this for, a 4-hour event is kind of crazy when you don't load it up with entertainment offerings. Even the food offerings were a little bit lacking. Just found surprising.
Yeah,
we're gonna have food soon too.
Yeah, my thing is this was a golden opportunity to do, and I'm talking completely blue sky type of thing. I don't know if the floats are even available. Get 5 sections from different parades and just barrel them down the parade route. And you
cool.
get Main Street Electrical Parade, you get Hercules, you get Aladdin's Royal Caravan, you get Lion King.
Yep.
I mean, that would have people going nuts.
Absolutely.
Could you imagine if they brought out a light magic float? People would lose their mind.
If you still got it,
We laugh, but if that came out, people would go nuts.
It's the worst parade ever. Yes.
It's the float that we hate. Quick, take a picture with it. You know, it's like,
but that's so Disneyland, right? It's so Disneylander. If you, it's 70 years of history. Why aren't you bringing out your history?
Yeah, and like I said, that would have. If I would have seen something like that happen, I would have been like, "Dang it! I wish I would have got a ticket." Because that would have been the type of thing where I'm like, to have even just 90 seconds of Aladdin's Royal Caravan down Main Street again, I would have been like, totally worth it. You know what I mean?
Would have lit up social media, would have lit up the FOMO aspect of this event.
It would have been off the chain, and that would have been the kind of thing where people are like, I'm getting a ticket to the next one because I don't want to miss something like that.
Boom.
I think it was, from what I kind of gathered and people that I talked to, even at the event, is a lot of them were not pass holders.
Oh.
So I met this one couple, they're viewers, but they, I said, oh, what are you looking forward to doing tonight? They're like, oh, we already did all the photo ops on Tuesday. Today we're just doing rides and foods. So for them, pass holders, I felt like everybody was really enjoying themselves. There was one kid that was disappointed that Tiana's was not running because they went all the way there, and I was like, ah. But am
I not surprised?
Everybody was like really happy. Like the people that did go were having a really great time. Everybody's cheering at the, for the Sound of Magic. Sounds of Magic.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it was like the queues as they are, but even Space Mountain, because it was very light. Overall, I will say the crowds were very light. There's no way
I heard it was like 5
know,
minutes for Space Mountain. Just
yeah, everything was 5 minutes. You didn't have to wait for anything. So I could see if you weren't a pass holder, and I always say that to people, even my own kids, because they don't have passes now. And I'm like, if you do anything, I would recommend that you do an After Dark event. That way you can do all the rides that you want to do, and you get all the fun stuff, that they're doing.
If you're able to pass by and get something, you get a little extra. But and they still do the mix in for that, right?
Yeah, at 6. So technically, right?
Right. So you get a few hours in the park as normal, and then you get, everybody shoved out, and then you've got 4 hours to, kind of blitz through the park.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So there's the good and the bad. For me, like I said, it's the thing that I look at, and if they in fact did not sell out in advance, and like you said, maybe they just kind of wink, yeah, we sold out, kind of thing. If that's the case, then they obviously need to adjust something. Something's got they've got to pull one of those levers that they've got. And get something going, because I really think the demand is starting to wane pretty bad on these events.
I'm hoping they will. I'm hoping they will in the future. That maybe some of these were already, they're already in motion, and they're just right. We're kind of in that weird time right now with all the changing of the guards and
yeah,
so,
right.
But
the exception of Sweethearts Night, I mean, everything has been taken down. I mean, it's like down to 2 nights or just a few nights. I mean, look at Star Wars Night. They used to have a ton of Star Wars nights. And the only reason I'm going to Star Wars again is because my buddy wants to go on May the 4th. So we are going to go. But I hope it's not going to be like last year or the years before, because seriously, it's getting more and more disappointing every year. And I'm really getting discouraged by it. So at this point, I hate to say this, but I really hope that less and less people go to the event, so that maybe they will revamp it or try to make it better. Make it worth your $160, because some of these events or even more than that.
Yeah.
I think I paid 180 something for this.
I think it was 180
Yikes.
for Star
I
Wars.
mean, it's crazy. So to me, they need to do something like Universal. They need to give you your money's worth, and they need to make it fun and exciting. And if you're gonna, they go, oh, well, you can get in as early as 6 and it goes till 1 in the morning. Yeah, but the event doesn't start until 9 p.m. and it goes till 1 in the morning. So really, we're getting just a few hours in the park to ride some rides and then do the event, and we don't have enough time for the event. If it takes an hour and a half to do one photo op, it's not enough time for all the photo ops they have or to do everything you want in the park. And maybe that's what they're counting on is, like you said, people are going 2 nights in a row. I don't know how they got all those photo ops done, because some of the photo ops lines are long. And when I went to Star Wars 2 years ago, I went 4 nights. 3 nights I paid for. Another night, a friend gave me tickets for free because they had an extra ticket. And I got everything but the Ewoks. I think the Ewoks 4 years ago. No, was it for Ewoks? No, what was it? It was
Ewoks had a long line.
Jawas I didn't do. But I was like, geez, I was there 4 nights and I still didn't get all the photo ops done. Crazy.
Yeah,
it was busier though. I feel like it was way busier back then. Like the events, every line was like insane.
So maybe the first night that of your experience that you brought out there, Cordy, maybe they went on a night that was just way emptier than even the one that you saw, which is not good. I mean, look, I like these. I actually like the concepts of these events, right? I like the idea that, okay, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit more with maybe an enhanced budget and these kind of specialty offerings or whatever. I would argue that you can put them in the park on a regular basis, but say, Lovey, we're going to go ahead and limit it to these events. Okay, yeah, well, give me something to pay for. And rides are awesome. And if you don't have a pass, I think they are kind of a compelling value. If you do, and really most of the visitation at Disneyland Resort is going to be people with passes, you really have to give them something a little bit extra, especially like we've mentioned here before, what Universal's doing, right? I mean, you get off that tram, like Back to the Future event, for example. I mean, you can just vibe there the whole time. It's just awesome, absolutely insane. Multiple sound stages filled with experiences. They're going to have even more of that this year, and Disney has a wonderful history. This was the unique part of this event. It was 70 years of magic. Okay, you have all this history to pull from. Some assets, you just dust them off. Others, maybe you have to fabricate. And then maybe others you have to book specialty. But a lot of relatively low-cost options could have been implemented here that would have added tremendous value to people. They just didn't do that.
Yeah. I haven't been doing it for a while.
And they did, this year was River Bell Terrace for the dining package, or not package, but where they had like the special dinner where you could, and a couple of people went to that and they were not pleased. It was a very long wait, so they wasted over an hour there. Just like they were like, our drinks didn't come out, and then the meat wasn't prepared how they asked. So it was just like, so that was a bummer. I was sorry that they had that experience.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing when it's a 4-hour event. It's like every little snag is magnified. For people, because it's like, oh my gosh, it took us 15 minutes longer than we were expecting. And it's like, well, that just cut into, possibly an entire photo op that we have to miss, just for one little, for your drinks taking a little bit too long.
I know.
And I'm not bashing the cast members, because 95%, 99% of the cast members are doing everything they can to make our visits magical. I'm not going to bash the cast members at all. It's just, it's the nature of, working in a restaurant. Things happen. Things, you get crazy busy, and, you're trying to keep up. So, it's tough, but I really think Disney needs to look at these things and kind of decide what they're going to do with them, because I think Universal is going to start eating their lunch when it comes to these after-hour events, based on my experience last year at FanFest and what the lineup for FanFest this year is already. Makes me kind of think Universal has a game plan for the next several years, not just hey, we tried out a a fan night, they I think they knew what they were doing. I think they had a 5 to 10 year plan with these things already.
See, and that's what happens, right? They're doing that quietly behind the scenes. And I mean, this happens with a lot of, I guess, companies or just, just things. But then Disneyland's just kind of like, yeah, we're raking it in, right? Everybody's gotten and then it's going away and they're not paying attention to what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
yeah. And it could be, I mean, we were talking, it doesn't have to be, massive, blowout, blow the budget on, getting top name entertainment or, pulling out 17 floats. But if you did a walkthrough of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, where guests can kind of, walk the track.
I've done that.
You've done that?
Well, I got evacuated, so that's
she got evacuated. Yeah, exactly. No, casually, you're exactly
cool.
right. Unique experiences like those.
I remember when they did the first annual pass holder party. They had Space Mountain with the lights on. You could walk through Roger Rabbit, and you got to go behind the scenes of the Country Bears. And they did 2 performances of Fantasmic that night. And we got to go through the Indiana Jones queue before it officially had opened.
Nice.
It was just before that. So that was the annual pass holder. I think it was like a $24 event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
They need more things like that.
But that's the kind of stuff I look for, And I know I'm a very niche part of Disney's market, but
I think a lot of people do feel like that. Like I read something that, it's happening every year. More and more people who have had a pass for years and years, or have been going to Disney since they were kids, are not renewing anymore. So it is a thing. So they're right along with you there, right? With what they're thinking. They would say, yeah, I want the same thing. Like we used to be like important, annual pass holders. It was like, you felt really special because you're like, ooh, only we can go to this event. Right. And it was usually something very, very unique and very cool. So.
Yeah.
Barb Duncan, we all know.
I would kill for that transcript.
We all know what the transcript says.
I'll bet if we get VashSky on it, he will find us an official transcript of the Mr. Toad attraction narration voiceovers, because we just need to settle what does he's not the judge. What is he?
He's the crown. Josh, I can't even think of the name now.
Anyway, he says guilty. Something. That is all.
Thank you. That is all.
Thank you.
Have you ridden with me?
It is. Thank you.
Did you write it?
Yeah. Well,
here's the thing, Cordy.
That's what I think.
I closed captions on yours also say guilty. Thank you. That is all. Ooh. Just saying.
Cordy says.
But Cordy says.
Not what you say.
I could probably find a transcript for you somewhere.
It has to be an official transcript. It can't be somebody transcribed this or somebody heard. It's got to be this was what was handed to the voice actor, because this is a massive debate between my audience and Cordy's audience, and there's a lot of crossover that happens between us. That it's guilty. Thank you. That is all, or guilty. That is all. That is all.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard people say that in Britain, that saying that is all is a common phrase, that is a typical thing. And I'm just like, well, be that as it may. He says, thank you.
That is all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It sounds a little different. And so that's why I think it is thank you. That is all. That is all. I guess I suppose that makes sense. Didn't official transcript for sure, but it does feature my favorite theme park joke of all time, that the magistrate or judge is, well, he's the devil as well. So that is like my favorite, like,
little twist,
switch
little
up there.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So 70 years after dark events, there's good and the bad. And I think it's always just going to be a constant debate until Disney decides to, really pull out all the stops and show that they are the king of theme parks, and that nobody can touch them. So, and I'm hoping they do that.
That's chosen one.
And I'm actually hoping they are. I would prefer to live in a world where I'm sitting there debating constantly whether or not I should get a ticket for something. So I would love it that their stuff is so good that I'm either chomping at the bit, figuring out a way to get the money, or just sitting there with FOMO watching everybody else's live streams. But as it stands right now, I'm just kind of like, it doesn't bother me. I see the stuff and I go, oh, that was probably pretty cool. But it's not to the point where I'm like, oh, I should have got a ticket.
I'm still waiting to see you go to Storytellers Cafe so you can see Humphrey.
I know. That's how cheap I am.
No, Danny, you
Mrs.
can
Casual will probably
to
do
Storytellers Cafe, and you can walk by and go, "There's Humphrey right there." And you can just stand at the window.
I know. He'll be the little boy at the window watching everybody eat. I'll wear a raggedy little jacket, a scarf, and a ratty hat. Put stuff on my face, a little bit of dirt. All right, moving on. Speaking of the ratty little boy who wants some food, Food and Wine Festival kicked off this weekend, and our own Bob Berry Place was there last night, right?
Yes, I was.
And you got to sample quite a bit of stuff. Why don't you let us know what your thoughts are on the food and wine this year and some of the items that you were able to sample?
First of all, since we've been talking about it, I was disappointed to see how much there wasn't available for food. I thought that the menu really had changed as far as like the amount of items that they've had in the past. I felt like they brought back what they thought were some really cool things like the LA street dog or junior street dog. I got to tell you, $8.50 for a half a dog is not good to me. Now, granted, you can get the 4 or the 8 entitlement cards. I did get the 8 entitlement cards, and I bought 4 items last night. The first one, Danny, you're going to love this one. It's the Tajin Habanero Hot Wings. Woo! Those things
sounds wonderful.
Yes, yeah, I can tell. I personally do not like Tajin. My daughter and my wife love it, but I got to tell you, I love the flavor. They were good. They definitely were spicy. I felt like the wings that I got had lots of meat on them, and you only get 3 of them. But they were thoroughly enjoyable. I did like those. I also tried. Now I know this is coming back from last year, but they had the sirloin giri mac and cheese. I got a lot of sirloin in my bowl. I was surprised how much I got, but the mac and cheese, it was good, but it didn't have as much cheesy flavor as I thought it's had in the past. So I just thought it was okay compared to last year, the year before when they've had it. And then I tried, I went over to Pim's Test Kitchen. Now, this is separate from the card, but you can buy certain items a la carte at different areas. So I went over to Pim's Test Kitchen, and they had a spinach and artichoke dip grilled cheese sandwich. Let me tell you.
I want to try that.
I'm not a huge artichoke fan, but I love spinach. Spinach artichoke dip is good with me, too. They do give you plenty of the dip inside the sandwich. I wish they'd give a little more cheese inside the sandwich so it's like a cheese. It's more of a dippy thing. But sourdough bread, and on one side of the sourdough bread, they have crushed the sourdough bread into a very thin but very big layer of cheese that has been grilled to solid perfection. It is so tasty and so good. And that made it really good. Now, for $14.99, you get that with tater tots. Tater tots were seasoned, and they were great. I actually enjoyed those a whole heck of a lot compared to the mac and cheese I had. It was definitely one of those ones I would go back and get again. I was shocked. But for $14.99, you get the tater tots, and the sandwich is big. It's not something small. It's a big sandwich. So I felt like you really got your money's worth for that one. And then I tried a couple desserts. I tried the cherry cobbler, which was really good. I thought they put a little too much oats on it, but the cherry cobbler itself was amazing good. Now, it's not huge. I mean, we're talking about, just a small cup. And then I tried the tres leches. Now, I love tres leches. Apparently, I did not pay attention to what the full title of the tres leches cake was. because it was the Cafe de Ora or something like that, Tres Leches cake. Okay, well, I didn't know it was a coffee one, so I'm not a coffee person. However, Tres Leches usually has 3 milk, right? It's 3 milk cake. It's usually very moist. It's really really good. It was dry in some areas, so it wasn't that great. I did like the topping, the frosting on top, and the cookie. That was really good, but the cake itself was just not so great. Of course, I don't like coffee, so that's why I don't think I enjoyed it as much. But also, it just wasn't as moist as I was hoping it would be. Maybe I got a bad piece. I don't know, but I just thought it was okay. As far as that goes, it was for 8 entitlements with your annual pass. It's $59, and I paid another $15 for the other sandwich. So I spent quite a bit of money last night. Granted, I have 4 more entitlements, and hopefully we can use that when we go back for the Food and Wine Festival. But I thought that I was going to try some other new things. Now, one thing I did forget, there was a drink that I wanted to try, and unfortunately I did not try it. And that was let me get to it real quick, because I actually used it as my thumbnail and I forgot to get it. Go figure. But it was right. Too funny. That was where'd it go? It's right here. Oh, it was the mango guava cocktail. It's got vodka, mango puree, guava nectar, cucumber syrup, and lemon juice garnished with a rainbow sour bell gummy. It looked really good and tasty, but I didn't have a chance to try it because I forgot about it. Has anyone else tried the Food and Wine food this past weekend?
I have not. I'll be there on Wednesday, but I'm doing March Madness, so I don't know what I'll get to try. I'm most likely, if I'm able to get there on Friday, I am planning to split that artichoke sandwich with Mrs. Casual.
Nice. Good choice. Very good choice. You guys are going to love it.
I have heard that some people were disappointed by the lack of offerings this year. I think there were only 8 booths in total, and all those booths averaged about 1 or 2 items versus, we've had festivals before at Disney California Adventure in which you've had maybe more booths, maybe more options per booth. It was a little bit weird to see the selection so truncated this year, but I will say that a lot of people are reviewing the food and they're saying that there are a lot more hits than misses this year, which is good because, we've had previous food festivals and offerings where it's like, ooh, a lot more misses than hits. So right. Maybe they distilled it down to the best offerings, very best offerings this year. That spinach and artichoke grilled cheese at Pim's Test Kitchen does sound pretty decent, though. That one's very, very interesting. Yeah, but, it's a lot of money for the portion sizes provided, which is, I suppose, typical for the DCA version of these food festivals.
Yeah, like you said,
there with the sandwiches, right? The size of the sandwiches are good at Pim's.
Oh, yeah.
I think the portions are good there.
Yeah, I haven't been disappointed really with anything that I've had at Pim's. I've had the giant taco salad. The pretzel is always a hit. Mrs. Casual's gotten a couple of the vegetarian items there as well. So,
yeah, I think what Vash is saying is like they had like 2 food items, 2 drink items, so you're really kind of limited as to what you had. The one thing that was really cool. Oh, I don't think I have it with me, unfortunately, but the guide that they gave you for the first time ever, I thought it was great because they actually had photos of all the different food items for each of the locations. And I thought that was great because sometimes you're like, I don't know, it might be pretty good. Then you go to the booth and you're like, oh, that looks pretty good. Now they actually have a picture of those items so you know what it looks like, and it helps you give a better decision as to, hey, am I going to get that or not, and give it a try. So I did like how they updated the food guide this year. And also, I was showing it to my viewers because on the back is a QR code. You can actually download the digital version. So people at home could actually download it while I was doing my live stream last night. It was great. So they could check it out and see what was on the menu, the foodie guide.
Yeah, I know. There's a few things. I'm debating if I should get the lanyard this year because I think if I get 8 items, I'm going to be getting a bunch of repeats. It's like I'll probably get the mac and cheese 2 times. I'll probably get a couple of if I like it, the cherry cola cold brew.
Which might not be worthy of a tab.
Which might not be.
Right.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. Because you got to look at it, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I've got to, if it's less than 775 or something like that, you're like, I should have bought it, a la carte.
Yeah.
So
So
you got to be paying attention to those things. But sometimes for the drinks, I'm just like, you know what, I don't normally buy drinks at Disneyland. So if I have the tabs, and I really like last year, I loved the Huckleberry Citrus Cooler or whatever it was called. That thing was so. I think I got three of them. That's how good.
yeah,
That's how good it was.
that
Yeah,
was good,
I
but they
don't.
didn't have
I
it
was
this
just
year,
like,
I don't
I
think.
need to get another one of those things. And gosh darn it, I would drink it in like 3 seconds. I hated it.
Having casual go out to get three of anything is pretty unusual.
Exactly.
That
Yeah,
must have
and
been a really good drink there.
I think I got three of the banana cold foam cold brews too. So
Well,
they nailed it with the drinks, for me for a little while. So that's why I'm hoping if this cherry cola cold brew is a hit, then that could be where I end up blowing like 4 tabs on that one, because it'll be like, all right, guys, we're going into DC. I'm going to start with the cold brew.
I've heard it's not from those who have tried it.
I was going to say I've heard that it's like, there's mixed reviews on it, and I'm just like, oh, I wanted it to be excellent and be the kind of thing where everybody goes nuts for it, and but oh well.
I will say that the only reason why I got the 8 entitlements is because I thought, well, I'll use half last night, and then in case we go and do a Park Streamers Hangout, I have another 4. And if we don't, I still have another 4 to try. But again, like you said, Danny, I almost felt like it wasn't worth it to get the 8 because I was going to be trying things over again, most likely, because there's a lot of repeats this year compared to previous years. But on the other hand, it means I can go and enjoy some other things. So
Yeah, and Cordy, you're a fairly adventurous foodie type, so you're not the one that's going to be sitting there going like me, like, ooh, tomato.
No. Yeah, no, I could pretty much try everything. I will say that tres leche cake I tried last year. Ugh,
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't like it. It was moist. It was like, I guess, how it's supposed to be. I'm probably just not a fan of that type of cake anyway. But
Yeah,
it was
I've never
finished.
been a fan of the tres leches because I don't like soggy cake.
Yeah, except for
Ugh.
see tiramisu. It's not soggy, but tiramisu, right? It's kind of, it still has some
It's
firm.
creamy.
That's about my
Yeah.
that's my limit on.
Now, see, I'm looking at the foodie guide on the Disney Parks blog, and they've got the plastic cup, and it looks cheesy, but at the same time, I look at it and I go, that looks fun. The chicharron nachos.
That's probably gonna be very popular.
see, I didn't really think it looked that great, so I was like, I'll pass on
Well,
that.
no,
But
that's
hey,
what I said.
I love chicharrones.
It looks cheesy. That's what I said. It looks like, it almost looks like a street vendor type of
Mm-hmm.
presentation, but I think that's what makes me go, okay, that's kind of fun.
Then you can shake it.
Yeah.
And get all the goodies on there.
Is that what you're supposed to do with it?
There'll be a lid on it, so then you can.
Shake
Is
it.
that no, seriously, that's what you do? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was the kind of thing where you had it and you just eat it with a fork, and you kind of like mix it up with your fork, and you get
Chicharron with a fork? No, I'm kidding. I'm just teasing you, but really no.
white guy.
Little maraca time right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that.
No, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking at. Like, it's like I would love to get it, but I don't like chicharron, and it's got tomatoes, diced tomatoes.
It's like a
One of my biggest
picadillo.
nemesis. And then salsa at the green salsa at the bottom. But it looks like the kind of thing where it's like, if you like that stuff, it would be a fun item to get.
Dash of Disney says, I hear it was soggy. Yeah, if they're sitting out already prepared like that, what they should do is the topping should be, how they can do the top, but it has like a little thing underneath. So it's
like a separate
they
lid
allow
that kind of like a little dish inside. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they should have done. Then you could choose to either shake it up, or if you want to put it on a plate, whatever you're doing, right? You have that option, but sounds like it's just coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Looking at it, I guess, it looks like the chicharron would end up just getting all kinds of cheese and salsa all over them, and within just a few minutes, it would be pretty soggy. So,
Mitch, just so you know, the Mickey Mouse plate comes with it. I didn't purchase it just to purchase it. It comes.
Yeah,
with
I was gonna ask if you got your plate, because didn't you miss the plate last year, or you missed the lanyard?
So here's the funny thing. They didn't give me the plate last year, and they didn't give me the lanyard because I bought it the day before early. So I had to go back to get the plate, and I never got the lanyard, unfortunately, but no big deal. I don't really, I love the way the lanyards work. I just don't like that big plastic thing that fits on the back of your neck. I know it's a breakaway, but they can make more comfortable ones. I don't know. So unfortunately, I do have to go, everyone. I'm kind of ending a little early tonight because I need to. So I'm going to leave Vash and Danny and Cordy to the Park Streamers Hangout. But you guys are in good hands with them because they're going to be covering a lot of other great topics and whatnot. But I will be back later this week to stream with all of you. So let me just say adios and goodbye. I'll be back on Thursday in Disneyland for another live stream. And I will be giving everyone an update on my dad at that point to let you guys know what's happening and whatnot. That's one of the reasons why I have to break away right now. But I hope you guys have a great night. And Vash, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. It was good seeing you.
Thank you so much for having me, Bob. Seriously, it's been a lot of fun. And yeah, I have to come back on and do it again with you all for the full 2 hours with every single one of you. Bob, you're in my prayers. Thank you.
Thank you. Danny, Cordy, have a great night. Everyone in chat, thanks for joining us, and I will see you soon. Bye.
All right. See you, Bob.
Bye. Oh, wait. Hold on.
Oh, here we go. 3. There we go. I think it's this one. There
That's fine.
Perfect. I don't know if
There you go.
Can we play? I don't know. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it to where
I don't either.
I'd probably throw everybody off screen, and everybody'd be like, "Where did everybody go?" So,
Oh my gosh.
so Cordy, is there anything at the Food and Wine that you're like dying to try it? Have you heard anything that like there's a breakout hit so far?
I really haven't heard anything yet. I'm not going till tomorrow, so that'll be my first day there. There were a lot of returning items, and we've seen this. I think Festival of Holidays might have been the first time we saw them cut back on the booths, the number of booths and food offerings. And then, of course, Lunar New Year did the same thing, right? It was again. But I feel like Lunar New Year had quite a few new foods. Mm-hmm. Because that was our, me, George, and Lynn were like, that's what we want to do. We don't want to do anything we had last year. No repeats, right? Just things that are brand new. And we did it all, and it took us the whole time. I don't know what there is. There's a lot. Most of it I think I had last year. But there's a bread pudding that I want to try. There's a bread pudding at Aunt Cass's.
I think I had a couple of items like that where I'm like, I want to try that. And of course, they're not on the tasting card, the Sip and Savor. And I'm just like, figures. But I do want to try the tiny little pizzetta. That looks good. The carbonara pizzetta, white sauce, Newski's applewood, smoked bacon, and black pepper drizzle.
Where is that one at? Studio?
It's like a tiny, that one is LA Style.
Oh, okay.
Same place with the cherry cola cold brew. They have that there as well. And then there were, like I said, a couple of drinks that I wanted to try because they sounded good.
Ooh, the cherry cola cold brew. I want that tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm hoping that one's good, but I'm hearing mixed reviews on it right now. So
we'll see. We shall see.
Well, I tried with March Madness. One of the things is the cold brulette. So I spun the wheel, and we got the butterscotch one at Troubadour, but Troubadour had already closed, so we had to spin again. And I got the mocha nitro at Maurice's Treats. Well, they had already discontinued that one and switched it to a tiramisu cold brew. Okay. And I was like, well, I guess we're just going to get that one then. And I figured, oh, this one's tiramisu. It's going to be so sickeningly sweet. It's going to just be a ton of milk and sugar. And that thing was as bitter as I've ever had. It was crazy. It was like, have you ever had just the raw dark chocolate?
Oh, yeah, no.
That's how it tasted. It was like drinking that. And I told people, I was like, if you're the type that wants the frou-frou, sweet, sickeningly, frou-frou coffee drink, do not get this tiramisu unless they made mine wrong. this thing was just it for someone like me to have to, I was like, I had to choke it down. I'm like, I'm going to power through and finish this thing. But it was like almost every sip, I was just like, whoa, that was just so bitter.
You needed a croissant cookie with it.
I think so. We needed to like dissolve the cookie into it and just let it sit there for a while, because it was, like I said, I think I was surprised at how bitter it was. I think there would be a lot of people that would just be like, oh my God, and just either go back and say, I don't like this, give me something else, or just throw it right out, because it was unlike any cold brew I've ever had at Disneyland.
Yeah, I want to look at what it says.
Sounds like I need a little bit of half and half and some Splenda.
Yeah, which you could have, right? I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose, but you could have added some.
Could have.
Zhuzhed it up a little.
Yeah, but I mean, if you've got it would take a lot to doctor it. Let's put it that way.
Not bad, huh?
It was severe.
Oh wow!
I seriously, I think I'm wondering if whoever made it didn't know how to make it and they did something wrong.
Missed something, yeah.
Because it didn't have any ice in it either. And normally yeah, I know. That's why I said I don't know if maybe the person made it wrong and it like had, either too much of the coffee mix and not enough sweetener, and it just could not balance it out at that point.
So a nitro cold brew, which I do like nitro cold brews, right? Like you get a good blast of
right.
But with a dark chocolate syrup topped with tiramisu cream. So maybe they put too much of the dark chocolate syrup, right?
I don't know. Yeah, it was. Yeah, all I know, it was, like I said, it was the kind of thing where if you like frou-frou drinks, do not get this.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a weird one. Like I said, I choked it down as best I could. I got to the bottom and there was like the foam, and I was just like, I'm not even going to bother.
I was going to say I want to try it just to see if they make it right, but
well, I know I'm tempted to see like, okay, well, if we get the cold roulette again, maybe it'll hit again and I'll try it. But I'm like, did they mess it up? Did they do something wrong, or is that really how it's supposed to taste? Because I don't know how they got a tiramisu flavor out of that.
Interesting.
I mean, you're thinking fluffy cake, kind of thing, and creamy and chocolatey. No, not even close.
That just means you have to try it again.
It could be. Yeah, EXP, maybe user error. It could be that I was just out of my mind and I have no idea what I was doing. But yeah, that one surprised me. I wasn't expecting that. So. Tiramisu too close to the sun.
That's funny.
I love our chat.
Very cool.
All right, so I think that's pretty much it on the food festival. We're planning to have a Park Streamers in-park hangout on March 22nd. That is the goal right now. Obviously, things change and stuff happens, so we just want to put that out there. But we are planning to be there so that we will do a Park Streamers hangout. We will do some food and wine tasting, and we will get to watch some performances from our good friends, Fat Cat Swinger, as well. Hopefully we'll be able to chit chat with them after one of the sets. So be sure to mark that on your calendars. We'll probably get started early just so we can catch Fat Cat. So we'll probably start 5:30-ish, I would think.
Yeah, and it's a Sunday, so we have a little more room to start earlier. So that's cool.
Yeah. So. Be sure to mark that one on your calendars. Donald Finn says,
see you there.
So cool. By all means, and if you're going to be in the parks that day, by all means, come hang out with us. Be sure to bring your lanyard or some food to share, because we like to share food. Well, I guess that didn't sound right. we like to get food and everybody taste a little bit of it. That's how it works. We don't take a bite here, you take a bite now. All right. moving on to the next food festival.
Yes, folks, we only have high-class stuff on this show.
Yeah, right there. Sorry about that.
We're on our best behavior, Vash.
Yeah, exactly. Now that Bob's not here, we can go crazy. All right, let me see if I can get the share to work. Let's see. Nope, that's not what I want to do.
This is always a tense moment in StreamYard.
Yeah,
You just don't know what it's going to do.
There it is. Share screen. Select over screen.
I'll have to put it up and then maybe change what.
There we go. Look at that. I got it.
Look at that spread. Good
Look
job.
at that, yeah. Look at dead center right there. You've got your wonderful boysenberry brick of some sort.
Yeah.
So, and Cordy, you went through and did a full foodie guide review on this one. So I'm going to lean on you for some pointers and what works and what doesn't on this menu.
I am very intrigued by this.
So lots of. So they've got tasting card items galore, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. It goes all the way to the right. Like there's so many items.
Yeah, let me see. There's the arrow. So we've got gold mine trail booth with a bunch of items, and these are all tasting card, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's listed. So again, it's one of those things where you look at it and you go, Disney? Do you see what the competition just up the street is doing? You know, it's. I'm sorry, I do have to say this. I think Boysenberry Festival is the best of the food festivals.
Yeah,
I think it's from what I can recall, it's the one that set everything off in Southern California. I believe Epcot had food and wine. I don't know if Disney was doing food and wine in DCA yet. They were.
Yeah,
they were doing
just
like
very limited though.
Mm-hmm. It was like a ticketed, I think, event or something, right, way back.
Well, we were talking about that on my Gimme Five show that the Food and Wine Festival, they used to have like celebrity chefs that you could come and you pay $75 or whatever, and you'd get a tasting and a glass of wine and all this stuff. And they don't do that stuff anymore, except for one little thing that they're doing during the weekends right now. And I don't even think it's an extra ticket event. It's just a register event type of thing. You gotta sign up
I think you have to
something.
pay. I think
you
do. I think you do.
Okay. But they used to have like a bunch of those classes and sessions and things like that. And now it's limited to one offering on the weekends, which is weird.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes. It is a smorgasbord. We all want to say smorgasbord.
You know why?
Is there a reason?
No.
Oh. Tell us, TPC.
Yeah. No, but the Boysenberry Festival, I think there's something about it for me that it's like it's grounded in this signature item that is completely unique. Nobody else can steal the boysenberry from Knott's Berry Farm. And anywhere else, they've got to kind of finagle a theme into their food festival, if you will. You know, I mean, SeaWorld does the Seven Seas Food Festival. And that can be, you know, you can spin it with, you know, a seafood twist, you know, and that would make sense. But Knott's, and they've done really well in constantly upping and changing their menu with, you know, this boysenberry infusion. I love how many times, and unfortunately, they've had a lot of misses. There's a lot of times where you get something you're just like, I don't even taste boysenberry, or that just did not taste good. You know, there's always going to be those kind of things, but they have done such a great job. I mean, this one, the Reuben right here, the Reuben ball with a spicy boysenberry, that just sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like dying to try that one. And they've got a bunch of drinks, if that, you know, a bunch of alcoholic drinks and non-alcoholic, all kinds of stuff. They did the mini food fun bun this year. I don't know if that's a new one or not, but if you guys know what the fun bun is they would take a cinnamon roll, dip it in funnel cake batter, deep fry the whole thing, and then throw a bunch of boysenberry icing all over it and some whipped cream. And it was like it was like the size of your head. It was a gigantic cinnamon roll.
I'll take two.
Yeah. I don't think you could, Matt. I don't think anybody could. And if you could, you shouldn't.
Is it that one right there? Like it's like you said, it's a mini one. It's that one where you can't really figure out what it is. It kind of has
it looks like a little crustable kind of little thingamabob. Or let me see. This is sushi roll.
That looks pretty. I like the sushi roll thing.
Yeah, I know, and it's stuff like that. And here's the thing, guys. For me, boysenberries are kind of like strawberries, where the seeds get all in my mouth and I get all irritated with it. But the stuff is so good, I go for it anyways. I mean, I had the boysenberry Nutella crepes one year, and I was just like miserable for like an hour and a half afterwards with all the seeds. But I was just like, that was so good. But yeah, let me see. I don't think they show the little mini fun bun. Where is it?
No, I had to go to a separate. SoCal Sports sent me something, and it had clickable pictures, like someone else.
Oh, here it is. This one right here.
Okay.
That's the deep fried cinnamon bun with a boysenberry glaze. So it's the mini fun bun. So that's a properly portion size. This one I would let you have two, Vash, if you would like.
Oh, okay, got it. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I wouldn't look at you, with a weird side eye if you were having two of those.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm curious. Do they? Because I still don't have enough knowledge of like how it all works. They're like the meal plans and things like that. Mm-hmm. There are some items that these are a la carte,
right?
So they're not. But some of these may qualify for the meal plan. Do you think?
Yes. Yeah. Like some of them do. Some of them don't. You got to kind of wait until they release everything. Okay. Follow some of the very dedicated Knott's Instagrammers, our Knott's Adventure, I think Team Boysenberry, they tend to have, that information very early on and post full-blown charts and, everything. So you can, definitely plan your visit as best as possible. But yeah. Which one?
The Strictly on a Stick, deep fried pickled spears with boysenberry aioli.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And stuff like that tends to be some of the hits because you got just a little bit of, that boysenberry flavor in something that you're familiar with. And it just gives it just enough of a spin. One year they did a cheeseburger on a stick. And that thing was just it tasted good, but it was difficult to eat. It was like you needed a fork and knife because they tried to do it like a corn dog. So it was like a meatball, a block of cheese, another meatball, and then some more cheese, dipped and then fried. And it was like this thing that was just like this mound of stuff. And like I said, it was good. And then it had like I think it was a boysenberry ketchup or something like that. And it tasted great, but it was just an absolute mess to try to eat. It was like you really needed a fork and knife to deal with it.
Right.
Interesting.
So... this was another one that I thought looked really good. The purple croutons, and then the pesto, the penne, the pesto. That looks good. So I usually those kind of items are part of the meal plan.
I hope so.
But
yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, I know. I'm hoping so too. It's like I really want to try. I got to eat a purple crouton.
Isn't that funny? See, it's the simple things because I did.
It's like I'm a little kid. Oh, it's purple.
Like.
Does it taste like cotton candy? But I mean, this is just like crazy how many items there are. And then here's a boysenberry tres leche cake. I'm assuming that's what this one is right here.
Yeah, speaking of the number of items, there must be well over 60 items or something. At least that I'm saying right here for me. Just and portion sizes look phenomenal. I don't know how expensive they are or how good they are, but portion sizes seem really reasonable.
Yeah, when with Knott's lanyards, the last time I got it, it was more per item than a Disney lanyard. So you were paying, I I think you were paying like $5 or something more than you did at Disneyland for your lanyard. And at Disney, you got 8 knots, you got 6. But a lot of the portions were nearly full meal size. So they didn't skimp on the portion, but you were charged accordingly. So just be aware of that. Knots, your lanyard is probably going to be a little bit more expensive, and you're going to get fewer items, but you're going to get full if you get the meal type of items. Those potato tacos look good too. I would try those.
They do. And look, you get 3 of them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to Boysenberry Festival. I am the problem I have now the last few years with Boysenberry Festival is it lands right with March Madness for me on the channel. So it makes it difficult because it's like I've only got a couple of Saturdays that I can dedicate, and if we don't get some of those rides in for March Madness, it becomes a problem.
That's it's sometimes frustrating weighing out, like Knott's Berry Farm, only entertainment's only available on the weekends. It's like, yeah, I really want to be at Disney on the weekends. Like, how am I gonna do this?
Yeah,
that's a little bit unfortunate, but a lot of these items look really good. The double stuffed baked potato with boysenberry barbecue brisket, that looks insane. Holy mackerel.
Yeah,
that's
at Mac and Spuds, I definitely recommend getting the potato rather than the mac and cheese. The mac and cheese has tended to be a little weird when you get, with those ones for some reason. I don't know why it is, because I like the mac and cheese over at Boardwalk Barbecue, but at Mac and Spuds, and I don't know, it might have been that it was the sourdough bowl. The sourdough may have kind of given a little bit of a tinge on everything.
Oh yeah, Slim was talking about that. Like you guys, that was...
Yeah, we got it, and we were both going, this tastes odd, but it could have just been that the sourdough was kind of seeping into everything, and it just kind of gave it a weird taste. But the baked potatoes have been excellent there, just like Troubadour at Disneyland. The baked potatoes are just apparently they can't mess up a baked potato too easily.
Man, we just had to thank both Waltz for that one.
Yeah, they'll skimp on the cornbread, but that one made me mad. They said I look at it and I'm like, it's a little triangle of cornbread. You couldn't even give me the whole little 2-inch square. Come on.
That's no good.
I was just like,
the potatoes look large, so like you said, can't skimp on that. Oh, go ahead, please.
Oh no, I was just showing Roto Commish that I go to Knott's to eat.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, Knott's really is one of those kind of parks, and I think Cordy, if we're ever able to do it, I would vote for a Park Streamers meetup at Knott's. If we're going to do something with the fans, I would prefer to do it at summer nights at Knott's or during Boysenberry Festival, because Knott's when especially summer nights when you've got all the bands, all the food. It's like you're kind of hanging out at a festival, and it's so much fun. And I can't believe how many great bands I've seen at Knott's. I mean, even the ones that you're thinking like, oh, it's kind of like a country band or what, it's like, I don't know what they're going to be like. And they come and they blow the roof off the place.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I've enjoyed every single band I've seen.
They've been really great at booking talent in recent era, and a lot of maybe Disneyland favorites coming over there and being part of their rosters. Some people who used to perform regularly over there at the other park resort there, which is cool. But I mean, I'm looking at these boysenberry bao buns; those look awesome. I mean, there's just a lot to like here. A lot of exactly. Hey. But there's just a lot to like here at this Boysenberry Festival, which I have to agree with you guys. I mean, when I look at Food and Wine, I'm like, Boysenberry Festival? Yeah, sign me up. And unfortunately, I've never been able to go myself personally to any one of these. So I've had to live vicariously through influencers, streamers, and so forth. But everything I see there is like, I want to do this. And I know somebody who was actually going there for the first time, or maybe you know, the first time in a long time. Anyway, still, she's extremely excited about going there. So there's definitely anticipation for some of this stuff, more than I would say, like, you know, Food and Wine or maybe even Lunar New Year.
Yeah, I know for me, there was the, 2 years ago, I went to DCA at Christmas time, and the day of, I was like, okay, I forgot I got to do my thumbnail and everything. And I started looking, what are we going to do? And I started looking at the show schedule, and I realized you can't find the show schedule easily in the app.
No.
And then I found the spot where you can find everything. And I was just, oh my God, they've got all kinds of bands. And so we spent the entire night bouncing around DCA, seeing, I think we saw Adelaide at Paradise Garden Grill. We saw I think we saw the Dreamboats that year at the main stage in front of the Paradise Bay. And then that's when we discovered Festmeister Hans, and it was just like, why did they hide the entertainment like that? And I was double checking. I was like, okay, let me see what happens when I go to entertainment on the map and it didn't have Festmeister Hans. I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to know this guy's playing over here in this back corner of DCA? Mm-hmm. And it's one of the funnest acts I have ever seen at a theme park. I mean, my chat was like, oh my God, thank you so much. That was so crazy fun. And we almost missed it because the app wasn't easy to navigate.
So weird. They used to provide you an entertainment guide. Used to, have it was printed in like this kind of white folded paper right there, but at least had everything listed right there. Mm-hmm. So if you wanted to go ahead and plan your day around the entertainment offerings, you could. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they haven't provided an easy way to do that or an easy equivalent in the app. Like you said, all these options are hidden. Sometimes you have to like scroll around, like try to find them on the map or whatever. Yeah. It's just a really big pain.
Yeah, I've seen it where they list every act that's playing during that season, but you have to click on the act to find out when they're playing. It's like,
yes,
how is that helpful? Or they'll show the ones that are playing that day, but it's like just random, everything alphabetical order rather than pushing the ones that are that day up to the top so that you can see these are what's playing today. Here's all the other bands if you want to come back another day, kind of thing. I don't know.
It looks like they did change it up this time, because I think last year it was like you could go in when you found it on the app, you could go in. It was like by the month, but you couldn't see easily like, okay, they're playing on November 27th, but when are they playing in December? You'd have to click on the December.
Yeah.
But
so hopefully they're refining and getting better, and hopefully they'll get it.
It's a little better.
Can find our acts way better, because there's a lot of people that it's like Cassie B, the Dreamboats. If they come back, I want to see them. We got Fat Cat Swinger, who is a gigantic Disneyland favorite. There's Adelaide that plays often at Disneyland and not. So I've actually been able to run into her and tell her, hey, man, we love you. Every time I'm live, my chat loves, when we get to hear you guys. And there was one that Donnyland caught yesterday. Is it Eva and the Vagabond something?
Yeah, Eva and the Vagabond Tales.
Yeah,
a vintage jazz.
Yeah, they are excellent. I've seen them before, and when I saw them on Donnyland's stream yesterday, I was like, oh yeah, see, I love catching these kind of bands. So,
well, they only have 2 stages this year.
Really?
It's just they're only listing live music is listed under Palisades stage, the main stage. Was it always called that? Anyways, and then Paradise Garden Bandstand.
They don't have anybody in the back lot? Is Goofy up on the stage in the back lot doing his like little kitchen shtick or something like that?
That's live music. So maybe they have Cooking with the Jam and Chefs. That's totally different. Yes, Goofy the Chef is a different thing, but like for live music, that's
it. Just the 2 stages. Yeah.
Well, hopefully they'll get their act together when it comes to listing the entertainment guides. I mean, we have been operating theme parks for just 70 years. So around the 100th anniversary, it'll really be locked in.
They're going to get this sooner or later. They're going to have it. Well, that's what I always say. It's like you would think that by now, like the stuff like the after hours events, they still run into weird snafus every now and then with merchandise or something. It's like, you guys have done this a bunch of times. You there really should be weird surprises, not typical type of things. Mm-hmm. That's, and I'm not going to say that everything should run perfectly smooth every time, because things happen, but some of the mess ups have been, pretty bad, and on stuff where you're going, how did they mess up the merchandise release again? It's like you guys have dealt with Disney fans before. You guys know how nuts we can get when it comes to certain merchandise. So
it's so wild, so crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So Boysenberry Festival, we would love to try to do an in-park hangout as well there, but it's just gonna depend on schedules at that point, because I know it's we got Easter coming up as well, so. Lots of stuff going on.
Yeah. I should be there Friday.
Oh, this Friday you're going? To the opening of Boysenberry Festival?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Tune in to Cordy in California to see more.
Definitely. I did that 1 year and it rained. They had to close the park at like 3. It's like, So... But hopefully it doesn't rain. Hopefully it's all wonderful and you get a spectacular first day of Boysenberry Festival. All right, so let's talk a little bit about a little bit more heavy news rather than the light stuff. We do have Disney. Is it Bloomberg was announcing this, Vash?
Mm-hmm. Bloomberg reporting originally on this story. If you want me to, I can walk us through it, or casually.
I am
go ahead,
pulling it up right now. So there we go.
Yep.
I've got a big ad in the way, but there it is. So Disney is getting close to possibly naming Thomas Maslum as the next chairman of Disney Experiences, according to a Bloomberg report. So Vash, why don't you walk us through this a little bit?
Well, absolutely. So, in the month of February, we had learned that Josh Giamaro, the current chairman of Disney Experiences, will be taking over as the CEO of the company, joined by, obviously, Dana Walden as the CCO, or the chief, creative officer, I do believe. And they're going to go ahead and lead the company into its next era. But a lot of people have now, raised the question, who actually replaces Josh Giamaro? Now, for me, I was a little bit worried that Jeff Valley would actually get the job. Jeff Valley being the current president of Walt Disney World Resort. Apparently, he doesn't, have a lot of sympathy for underutilized areas, such as like Bubba Vision 3D and Rivers of America. And so I was a little bit concerned, like, ooh, we get somebody like that as the chairman, that might not be good. But according to this Bloomberg report published, I believe, earlier today, the allegation is that apparently, as soon as next week, Maslum might be named the chairman of the Experiences Division. Experiences Division covers 185,000 cast members, and obviously includes the parks that we know and love, like Disneyland, for example, but includes Signature Experiences, which includes Cruise Line, and also, too, the Consumer Products Division of the company that produces all of the products that you can buy in retail shelves. So it's a big job, obviously. And Josh Giamaro, I don't know. I haven't had the best relationship with how Josh has actually run the Experiences Division. Some of the things that we dislike, like Lightning Lane, for example, or reservations, all of that came in with the Josh Giamaro era. But I do have some optimism, cautious optimism about Thomas Maslum. I'll explain why here shortly. Thomas Maslum originally comes from the Disney Signature Experiences line of the Experiences Division, that being the cruise lines, typically, but also includes DVC and a couple of like Adventures by Disney and stuff like that. But these are kind of white glove treatment type experiences. Apparently, they did very, very well under him. And so I am encouraged that somebody with a very, guest satisfaction laden background is actually, in the running to actually helm this division right here, because we have obviously had complaints in recent years about maybe some of the friction points for guests recently. Lightning Lane, maybe cast members, and Demeter broadly, and some other aspects. But Thomas Moslem actually addressed these concerns head on very recently. Actually, they had a DCA 25-year event, kind of media summit that they invited members of the media down to actually attend. We actually interviewed very recently Drew the Disney Dude, who actually was part of this event as part of the invitees to hear this symposium put on by Disneyland officials. And they were going over, hey, look, listen, we understand about attraction and ride maintenance, for example, and having so many rides down. We are addressing those issues in order to have the maximum experiences available for guests on a daily basis. They even were candid in how they were training cast members and how maybe they hadn't set them up for success in the recent era, especially post-COVID. But now you have Thomas Moslem coming in there and saying, hey, what are we doing to address some of these complaints? And they actually addressed those in multiple ways head on, which was very promising. But I remember when that media summit actually took place and this kind of goodwill effort, I was like, wait a minute, is Thomas making a run for the job? And apparently that might have been the case now that he is on the very short list, the list of one, to perhaps helm the experience division, which I think would be, like I said, pretty good. He hasn't run the Disneyland Resort long enough for me to get a really good idea about this gentleman and his management and operating style. Again, with how the Disneyland Resort actually budgets and adds new things, I mean, you're waiting until October 1st, which is the fiscal year for Disney to start, before you actually see a lot of like the main points that any new management would actually want to go ahead and forward. So it's very difficult to know exactly if he's like awesome for the job or not, because we have limited experience with him, at least at Disneyland. But hey, it is somebody coming from Signature Experiences. That is very, very promising. But I kind of want to hear from you guys what you think about all of this.
Cordy, I'll let you.
Well, I mean, what you said, that's encouraging, because I do think, especially about the cast members, I think we all know we've seen there's a difference between what
pre-COVID, post-COVID,
our experience. Yeah. So I think that's huge, right? To get back to basics and what is, what did Walt want the cast members, what kind of experience, right? And how do you want to treat the cast member? There's the whole thing, right? So that's encouraging that he's looking at that, or, that's something in his
review.
Can't think. Yeah, there you go. So, but I don't know enough about him. I really don't, I don't know his history as far as what he's done, but yeah.
To go off of that, Cordy, just a little bit, they were talking about how 60% of the cast members now working at Disneyland Resort, well, they hadn't previously worked pre-COVID. They had to, when they let go of 28,000 cast members, I believe, in the fall of 2020, that was a huge blow to the Disneyland Resort, because, eventually you'd have to hire all those people back in. Only about 50% actually came back. But when you're looking at a resort that employs well over 30,000 people in order to be fully operational, that's quite the task to hire on so many new roles and so forth. And so what they had to do was they had to shorten the onboarding process. They had to run through traditions, even some of that being put on virtually, in order to get as many people as they needed on. And a lot of that focused on safety and not necessarily guest experience. And so Thomas Moslem comes in and says, hey, we got to rethink all of that. And so he is having leads, managers go through traditions again, now 2 days instead of one. He is also having select cast members go through those processes again, to really shore them up and provide them a route to success, but also to really enhance the culture and really cultivate a culture of guest experience, guest service, and so forth. Again, they heard the complaints, they heard the letters, the messages, the phone calls, everything else, and they're really doing something about it. So I will go ahead and commend Thomas Muslim for actually pushing that initiative forward, because it is being it's being cited that he was the one that pushed it. That being said, though, I really want to get a broader view of some of this stuff, and I will say the media did push back during that symposium and saying like, hey, look, listen, what are you going to do about reservations, right? Because reservations are at the top of mind of any annual pass holder, especially at Disneyland Resort. And they said that they were going to keep it, but they are looking to increase the amount of spontaneity and reduce the amount of friction points for guests. One of those we saw actually very recently when they removed the 11 a.m. rule for park hopping. It's like, let's go ahead and just get rid of that entirely. So that's good. I just don't know quite enough. So I'm probably going to have to do a deep dive on Thomas Muslim to really get the full sense of what he has done before and what he's capable of.
Yeah, for me, it's hearing them address something like that in tandem with Josh D'Amaro saying his comments about Smuggler's Run, saying how, guests like it, but they don't love it. So we need to do something. Yeah. It's like if they're willing to admit these kind of things, that is huge. That's for me, that's that first step. Okay. Yes, we have a problem. It's like, as soon as you can acknowledge that, it's like, okay, it feels like we're starting to get on the right track, and so it is encouraging, as much as, Josh D'Amaro, said we're getting a Cars, giant ride and we're going to get a Villain's Land, but didn't tell us what we were losing to get that. That's, he's still that guy. So I'm still cautious, with everything, but the fact that they're willing to, because I don't think Bob Iger would have ever said as flat out like Josh D'Amaro say, people like it, but they don't love it. So we need to change it.
That was one of the most frustrating things about the Bob Iger era. It seemed to be, a bunch of very confident individuals who would never admit failure, never admit that they were wrong. Josh D'Amaro kind of changed that a little bit. I remember I think it was a Destination D23, because I'm going through a lot of footage of Josh D'Amaro to try to provide for a video that's coming out on VashSky Parkcast. Stay tuned for that. But I'm going through a lot of footage, and he actually said, hey, we're not always going to get it right. Which is, you would have never heard that, even a couple years prior. So I think that was very positive. That being said, though, Casual, I think you're right. The guy who said that, hey, we're getting all this stuff, but not actually telling you what you were losing, he is that guy. Thomas Muslim seems to be cut from the same cloth in terms of admitting fault, right? And at least trying to do something about it. And so I will see that as extremely positive. Look, there's just some issues with Disneyland Resort that I wish could be overcome. But that being said, it seems like the most pressing issues are at least at top of mind for this management team. And so if Thomas Muslim could use that in addition to his history at Signature Experiences and imbue that throughout the entire parks division for the Walt Disney Company, that might be really, really good. We'll have to see if that actually happens, though.
Yeah. Like I said, it's encouraging to hear that, hey, we see these areas, and they're the areas that we've been, mentioning. It's not something like, nobody cares about that, blah, 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 blah. They're looking at stuff that, fans have talked about and have noticed declines. And, it's one of those things where you go, Disney is supposed to be the best. And like I said, it's not to bash cast members, 99% of them are doing everything they can. We've run into lots of cast members, and we've done lots of cast compliments just from the live streams. So it's nothing against the cast members, but the cast members are, kind of beholden to what management is dictating. So
exactly. I think I've seen more of those tours going on, with traditions. And I base things off too, because my daughter was a cast member. So when she would go and like, she can tell like, oh, you could have never done that. You know what I mean? Like there's
wow.
like, that would never have happened, or
Uh-oh.
just the different things that, and I think, what you said about them having to bring in and hire so many so quickly, right? Post COVID.
Tens of thousands.
That was huge, even though it was just people in California, right? It was only California residents. So we kind of eased into it. Yeah, that definitely had an impact, I'm sure, on the training and what, like you said, it's the management, right? How the training's going and what they're being, it's all a reflection. It's lead by example, and if
Right.
that's not there. So
Well,
I think I've seen better. It's been a lot better, and the cast members are awesome. It's just I feel for them sometimes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there's so many times though on my live stream, everybody gets mad at me because I'll be like, they need to get these cast members a spiel, because there's times where they just, the little announcements they make, I'm just like, oh gosh, don't say that. It's like, sorry folks, the ride's broken, you're gonna have to wait longer. It's like they'll literally say stuff like that, and I'm just like, no. It's like,
Yeah, I mean they highlight. It's so interesting because they highlight the recent monorail incident that took place at Disneyland Resort, right, where it broke down right in front of the Indiana Jones building right there, and everybody stuck up there for 2 hours, 3 hours, not good, right? But the cast member that was there, informing everybody about what was going on, the person at the helm, that is, was so he had such an era of transparency, but also too keeping it fun, keeping it light, that they actually applauded him when he was finally evac'd from that situation right there, which was pretty cool. And going even forward a little bit, jumping forward in that story, when there was guests who were pretty miffed, obviously, for having been stuck in that situation, and they were trying to get, I believe, book some flight, maybe at John Wayne Airport right there, and they missed their transportation options to facilitate that. And the cast member at Guest Relations actually got them an Uber and were able to transport them safely to their destination. A lot of cast members around them were like, "Oh, you can actually do that?" Like they didn't even know that was even an option for facilitating somebody's day or guests in general. And so it's like just the knowledge of what you can do, what you can't do, what you're empowered to do, and so forth. I guess Thomas Maslam and company were very keen on providing that for cast members today, which they hadn't been previously.
Yeah. And here's an example. This one, we were in line at Guardians, and of course, like one of the elevators breaks down. So they make an announcement. We're sorry, one of our elevators is not functioning, not working, whatever. So your wait will be a little bit longer, and we do need to prioritize our lightning lane guests.
I've heard that.
And I'm like, and on the stream, I'm like, you don't say that. You don't ever say that. You just say your wait's going to be longer. You don't tell them, by the way, we're going to let these people in first. It's like,
we can see that. We see that.
No, exactly. It's like, we already know. Thank you. Us
That's an internal discussion being broadcast out. You know what I'm saying?
It was just so, and like I said, it was enough to where everybody in my chat was like, just calm down, TPC. And I was like, you guys don't understand. that is a gigantic no. That is one of the and it set me off, and we were probably talking for like 15 minutes the rest of the line of just this is not what you say. You don't say it like that. I get it. I know, but they need a spiel. They need a little book that says, when the ride breaks down, this is what you say. And you can customize it for each attraction. It doesn't have to be a generic thing. You can make it fun. But it's like, here's your 3 options to say when there's an issue. You don't deviate. You get these 3. That's it. And, they're just, I mean, there's been times where we're on the train, on sweeper train, and I'm just like, give me the little thing. I'll do the talk. I'll do the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there's been a little bit of a delay in your passage through the primeval world and the Grand Canyon. Go ahead and sit right there. We'll be on our feet in just a jiffy. Kind of thing, right? You just like, there's a way to do it. There's a way not to. I do agree with you, Casual. I think there should be more scripts provided, especially in the era of Lightning Lane, in which, you know, some of that can get a little feisty because people are actually paying for those services.
Yeah.
And, well, you have obviously people not paying for those. So it's just, I think they were really honing in on that, at least from the conversations I've heard, the articles I've read of that event. Like, they were really like, you know, that this is a point of emphasis here. Just absolutely fantastic. It's great because we love the cast members. So I want to see cast members of all types be as successful as they possibly can, but they just simply weren't provided those tools, and, you know, maybe some of their hiring practices got a little loose because they needed bodies.
Do this for, and hopefully no one in security is watching, and I won't get turned away. But can we also? I think we need some help over there as well with what they say and how they handle things. I heard once, it was a long line. I was on the harbor entrance, and one of them yells out, "You're in line for Disneyland. You knew what you were getting yourself into. Have your bags ready, unzip." Like, it was like, I'm like, am I going to county jail? What are we doing here? Like, why are we being talked to like this? And we haven't even gotten into the park, into the Esplanade.
Wow.
I just think that's the first impression, and I think
Yes,
that needs to be looked at as well.
Yeah.
Thomas Muslim and company were very clear with the security guards, because it didn't used to be like that, right? Previous to, obviously, September of 2020, 2001, I should say. Previous to that, right, you would make first contact with the person actually accepting your ticket.
Yes.
That all changed, obviously, after that. And so now you have security guards put in that position. And I think they may have acknowledged it, that security guards now are your kind of your first impression for the magic that you'll be experiencing later on. I know there's a different union that provides for those, so there are some challenges with that, and that's the thing, right? You have the operational realities of running something in the middle of Southern California now that maybe you didn't have even 20, 30, 40 years ago, and maybe don't exist out there in Walt Disney World. So you kind of have to treat it a little bit differently. That being said, though, there are definitely a lot of things that we can improve. I find it funny. You guys remember the Disneyland Forward concept art that they released with the big bridge going over harbor and so forth, and people were like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And I remember somebody saying, "Oh, wouldn't that be great for fireworks?" And it's like, yes, that would be great, but I'm sure there's going to be a cast member there. Keep it moving. This is not a walkway. You got to keep it moving. Yeah. And the fact that my mind went to that almost instantaneously really shows just how much an impression, both good and bad, cast members are making today.
Yeah, and the part that's tough is we go to the parks occasionally, and we get frustrated with things. Can you imagine being that 7 hours a day, 4 or 5 days a week? It's like, oh, I feel so bad for those cast members sometimes, and I'm the first one. It's like I do everything I can, and I've messed up, and I've been not as kind to the cast members as I should be at times. But 90% of the time, 99% of the time, I'm just like, oh, these poor cast members. After fireworks, they're trying to get people on the sidewalks and to walk this way, the poor things, and people are practically knocking them down to get, I want to go that way. And it's like, I always remind everybody on my streams, I'm like, especially when it's like after fireworks or a parade, follow what the cast members are telling you, because they're trying to keep a flow moving. Because if they just let everybody go, it would just be gridlock and you'd be bumping into people the whole time.
True. Yes. And people have changed. So it's also guests, right? There's a like,
oh yes,
I'm not listening to what you're saying. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And that's it. So that's the other side of it, where it's like, I'm sure very frustrating.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the reasons why guest behavior and guest expectations have changed, let's say, to put it gently, because the price point. The price point is much higher than it used to be, and unfortunately, they've divvied out services that now you have to pay extra for, and so forth, right? And so that's created an extra layer, I think, of frustration, especially. And you know, I haven't gotten into this previously, but remember, a lot of the services that either cast members would be able to assist people with, or a lot of the things that you would interact with, like let's say FastPass, for example, right? All of those have been made digital services, in which cast members, you know, they can't really necessarily help you in the same way they could before, which also adds an extra layer of frustration because, well, we know about Disney IT, it's not always the most reliable, but hopefully educating cast members on you know, maybe how to navigate the app and maybe how to deal with issues and empowering them to actually do so might be a good way of overcoming so many of those, because nobody gets more frustrated than a cast member who's maybe not had the best day possible, who can't provide the magic that we might be able, you know, expect. And on top of IT issues and on top of our frustrated guests, and it just all compounds, right? So, you know, hopefully we can overcome those issues, and that's why Thomas Moslin, okay, being chairman of the Experiences Division, awesome. It's just I hope what was talked about at that media summit can actually come to fruition and make it to reality for all of these resorts worldwide.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'll just have to create another sticker, like my Row 2 cruise sticker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we'll take our cast members that are frustrated with us, and we'll just turn it into something fun.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Yes, and yeah, Bob was on Pirates when it broke down. They were right there, you know, like 3 boats, I think, from the unload station. So they're right there at the entrance, and there was a family that just was not happy. They were, it was rough. And, you know, everybody in the stream, you know, watching Bob was just like, what's up with those people? And Bob was like, he's just like, yeah, we shouldn't treat the cast members like that. And he's just trying to, you know, kind of talk it down a little bit. But yeah, it's crazy what these cast members have to deal with sometimes.
Very sad. That's very, very sad, for sure. Also, pretty sad there, Casual. We learned this news actually today. A little final story real fast. What's going on at the confectionery has had a lot of people troubled.
Hold that up real quick. I think I can. I hope I can find it, because I know it's like in a long list of a website. So
one of those big old mice chat articles, but it scroll down.
Like it goes on
for
days.
days.
Way down.
So is it all the way down?
The best or the worst for last. Yeah, it's pretty far down there.
It's pretty far down. Yeah. Oh, maybe just a little bit higher than. No, keep going. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Sorry, I'm seeing you.
Oh, we're only at Easter.
Yeah, we're only at Easter. We got to go through the entire year's worth of stuff here now. I do love Dusty Sage and everybody over there at My Chat. I think they do a tremendous job with their coverage. But I might be time to break these up into individual pages. The long scroll thing. I don't know how. Yep. Okay, just after that. Yep,
there we go.
Right there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. So our headline is, let's see.
Down there.
And we seriously hope you all pay attention to the next item and protest loudly. That's how they lead into this article.
Yeah, which is pretty rare for them.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. There we are. So it reads, if chocolate treats at Disneyland's candy kitchens don't taste quite right starting today, there's a reason. The candy kitchens have begun ordering a lower quality chocolate for the dipped treats and candies. Of course, they'll still be charging premium prices for the lesser quality product. A sorry sign of the times. So, yikes. So it says, and just a reminder, if your favorite item doesn't meet your standards, demand your money back, complain at City Hall, or simply shop for your chocolates outside the Disneyland Resort. As long as Disneyland thinks they can keep keep charging you more and deliver less, they will. Yeah, that's really the only way that Disney is gonna understand what they're doing. It's the same thing with the French fries, guys. Go if the film strip fries or the waffle fries or whatever different fries that they used to have, steak fries, now it's all shoestring, right? So if that's something that means something to you, go to City Hall, let them know, hey, I'd just like to let you guys know that I won't be buying my quick service meals anymore until we get the variety of French fries back, because we enjoyed the waffle fries at Hungry Bear, or steak fries or tater tots, and let them know, because when you lodge a complaint, being in marketing, they know that every one complaint equals possibly anywhere from 100 to 1,000 other guests that did not complain but have the similar mindset. So it doesn't take a whole lot of people complaining to get a massive shift in Disney's thinking. And believe me, they look at those surveys.
This all seems to be representative of this new move. I guess they have Disney themselves has switched food providers, at least at Disneyland Resort. This might be the same case at Walt Disney World, I'm not sure, but to Cisco for their food ingredients and so forth. And I guess that has led to declines maybe across the board. We saw a lot of these changes recently, as Casual mentioned, the French fries for multiple menu items across Disneyland Resort. We also saw like mashed potatoes be subbed out for rice for some pretty expensive entree dishes at some of our favorite sit-down restaurants at Disneyland Resort. And it's gotten a lot of people like, what's going on here? Because, obviously they're not cutting price. As Dusty mentions in this article, they're charging the same or more. And it's, cutting down on chocolate. It's like, come on. There's this recent controversy with Brad Reese, I guess, who's the grandson of the Reese's peanut butter cup inventor. And he recently accused the Reese's or Hershey's of not actually utilizing real chocolate for a lot of their molds and so forth, calling it wax or something like that. And I guess Reese's had to admit, with some of those molded products, we've had to change the ingredients and so forth, but not actually going into what that was. Now here, lower quality chocolate, it's like, guys, like, what are you doing? Like, what, these are very expensive items. Obviously, they're handmade and so forth. Why wouldn't you want the best ingredients possible? Exactly. It's just so very strange. I remember going to Walt Disney World some years ago, this was like 20 years ago or so, where we weren't quite attuned to the operational differences of these resorts. And we were asking at the time, like, hey, where's the freshly made candy? It's like, we don't do that here because it's too humid to actually, facilitate for that. So it's a unique feature at Disneyland. Obviously, there's a lot of enthusiasm surrounding, handmade chocolate treats at Disneyland Resort. The fact that they would cut some of the stuff out, not good. But as Casual mentioned, we could do something about it.
Yeah, and it's somebody, Faithkeeper, is asking about what happened at Zocalo. But they shifted from a order then plated service operation to grab and go.
Yeah,
and it just and I'm trying to figure out where is the savings in this. And when we were discussing it, I was saying the only thing I can think is that they had so many complaints about the wait time that they had to figure out, okay, how can we just speed up the line? And to which I was saying, there's the saying that the guest is always right, but that's not the case. Sometimes the guest thinks they know what they want, but when they get what they want, they're missing out on something else that was a bigger benefit. Yeah. And I mean, because this one, I'm still going to go, and if I want a burrito, I'm going to ask, can I get it without the sauce on top? So they still have to make me a custom burrito, and I still have to wait. If somebody is, like me, allergic to tomato, then they're going to have to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Allergic. So I'm not sure how this does anything. In fact, it seems like it would possibly even waste more food because if somebody sees a plate that's been sitting for a minute, I mean, I don't even think they do beans and rice on the plates anymore. So,
No.
it's not like you could see, the top of the beans has already got that little shell happening to it, So I can't fathom, because it's not like you need fewer cast members, because there still has to be somebody to replenish the trays. Somebody still has to plate it. Somebody still has to bring it to the table. And I was thinking, it's like, if the speed is the issue, then perhaps it's the layout of your restaurant that is wrong for what you're trying to do. And maybe you need to relay out the restaurant.
Well, because they have that whole other kitchen or that area, right? They don't utilize the one that's kind of like in a little, you know what I'm talking about?
Right, because you go in and there's the first ones right there, and that's where you do the main ordering. And then it goes off to the side, and that used to be where you would get the salads and possibly desserts over there. But I haven't been to Zocalo in so long that I'm not even sure if they do that anymore.
Well, even next to it, because they still have the desserts and the drinks way over, on the side. But there's even like where you order and pick up your food, and then there's a section right next to it. Do you know what I'm talking about, Vash? Right?
Yeah.
There's
Oh yeah.
Utilize that as part. I don't know. There's so many other ways.
Well, that restaurant was originally redone, I believe, in the 1990s. Remember, it was bifurcated originally, half barbecue, half Mexican, if you remember, like back in the old days. And that's why that layout's always been a little, just screwy.
Yeah, that's right, because they used to have, if you wanted barbecue, it was on one side, and the Mexican food was on the other side.
Right. So that's why it's always been a little weird to navigate that whole thing. And so maybe there are some challenges associated with like where to queue people and it backing up and so forth, because it was backing up quite a bit. Like it was going to the restrooms and everything like that. It was just crazy. So I can understand maybe the need for efficiency in that instance. But like you said, Casual, it doesn't really gain... The cuts don't obviously outweigh the benefits, I would think. And that's weird, too, because didn't Alien Pizza Planet do the reverse? Where it was grab and go, and now it's served? I recently went into Alien Pizza Planet, back in December, and they were serving, and I was stunned. I was like, wow, that's a really... I think they add the sauce to your pasta now as you order. Right. So it was... It's just... It's like, okay, well, that's a weird thing. Princess of Zocalo, that's really unfortunate to hear, because I would obviously prefer it to be something where all those things were made to order rather than grab and go. That's for sure. But
and you miss the interaction. I mean, I was saying, you never know. Those cast members, just one little interaction can turn somebody's day around. And it could be a custodial person. It could be somebody serving food. It could be somebody at a cash register. It doesn't have to be, this grandiose, person that's, with character and giving you a good interaction with one of the characters. It doesn't have to be the ride operator on Matterhorn or Pirates that does it, or Haunted Mansion. It could be any one of these cast members, and you're removing one of those touch points where the cast member could have a difference and make a difference in somebody's day. And not to mention, like I said, you're losing what feels like at least a little bit of a fancier, place to go and eat, where you can see them plate your food for you. That's way better than, I guess I'll take this plate of tacos. It looks better than that one. It's that just feels so weird.
And then everybody's like, then you're like, I don't want to go where people have walked past and coughed or sneezed or touched something. No, thank you.
Yeah. So
good.
No, thank you.
That's really unfortunate. There just have been these diminishments that we've been seeing, and hey, maybe it's skimflation or whatever. Or, obviously, you have rising costs associated with food production across multiple industries, not just theme parks. But it is kind of sad to see your favorites be cut. I mean, Casual, we've talked about this before too, like Lamplight Lounge, for example. There were so many great food options there, and they just whittled them down. And I think even the lobster nachos now are behind, this kind of crazy thing where you got to go to the bar and you can only get them there, whatever. It's just a whole kind of mess. And so hopefully they really shore that up, because there are wonderful opportunities in order to provide for revenue for guests looking for food options. It's just they have to deliver.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those declining by degrees. It's the frog in the boiling water, and it's some of us can see these things coming, and others are just like, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? And then all of a sudden they're like, why does this feel so less magical than it used to? It's like, well, there's a reason. We were ringing the alarm bells a while back, saying we don't like the trajectory that some of these things are on. So hopefully, like we were talking with the changes in executives, well, we can hope and pray that they'll start to right some of these minor missteps, and they really are minor. They're not anything tragic. It's just when you compile them together, you start looking at it and going, this is a lot less magical than it used to be, and they're all somewhat easy fixes.
Yeah, and it's because we care, right? You're like, we're all we care what happens. We don't want it to go that way, right? Like, let's stop it before it goes any further.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. Save us, Papa Muslim. Save us. We need a reprieve from some of this stuff. It doesn't. We don't have to be declining by degrees to the extent that we are. We can maintain quality standards. And hey, if we have to pay a higher price, c'est la vie. I suppose we have to. But I think a lot of people would opt for that option rather than the diminishment in quality.
Yep. I agree. And with that, I think we will end on that note and leave everybody on that moment of, what, we care, and that's why we're mentioning these things, and we would love to see Disney, come back to all those incredible standards that, they were almost a joke because of how good Disney was. They were the butt of the joke because they were, the most amazing cast members and the most amazing place to go. So we'll just keep pushing and hoping that Disney gets back to that, and we can all enjoy the parks and really have to dig to find something to complain about. All right. So VashSky, would you do me a favor and let everybody know where they can find you? And we will, if one of my mods can put the link for the VashSky Parkcast in the chat for us.
Absolutely. VashSky Parkcast is where you can find me. You've seen the name in the chat. If you're in there, you can click through, obviously, that methodology. But I'm sure casual Cordy's chats and Park Streamers will have those links as well. Very, very cool. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much for having me on. But yeah, VashSky Parkcast is a dream of mine, having my own channel. Originally wasn't going to do it, but so many people requested, so many people wanted it, and it was always like, can I facilitate that? Well, now I absolutely can, thanks to the help of you guys. On Wednesday, we're going to have an amazing show right there. It's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern, talking about, some of these things related to Thomas Muslim, Disneyland Resort, the Disney Adventure. That just made its debut, and at first it was like, okay. And then you look at those rooms and you're like, ooh, that's really something right there. So we'll go into that and much, much more. Also, two big news on the entertainment front, but it affects theme parks as well. Paramount and Warner Brothers, as you know, this merger actually might take place between the two of them, and there are some internal discussions happening on what to do about those Paramount and Warner Brothers lots, and maybe perhaps providing a theme park style experience for those. You want to hear that and much more, folks, for sure. It's going to be on Wednesdays. This Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then we also do a live stream as well on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern for some of our West Coast friends. Hopefully, some of the panel that you see right here can join us, but c'est la vie, it should be a fun show. So definitely check out VashSky Parkcast. Thank you so much, Casual and Cordy, for having me on.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Vash, for joining us. And Cordy, if you would let everybody know where they can find you and when you will be live next.
Of course, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and my Discord. And I will be in the parks tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh yeah, that's right. You're going to be doing some food and wine festival stuff tomorrow, right?
And then Knott's Friday for Boys and Berries opening day. Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I could go for opening day, but I'm not going to make it this year. And I am Theme Park Casual. You can find me on YouTube, X, and Instagram, all of them at Theme Park Casual. I will be back live in the parks for our usual favorite live stream on Wednesday nights from SoCal in Disneyland that starts around 5 p.m. We will be continuing our March Madness, our march to complete every attraction in Disneyland and DCA in the month of March. And you, the viewers, will be picking the rides. So please join me. You might get to choose our next ride. And with that, I will say thank you to my panel again. Always fun hanging out with you guys. And thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us for another Park Streamers Hangout. I believe we will be back in just under 2 weeks for a in-park hangout at DCA on March 22nd. That is a Sunday evening. We will get the details out to you as soon as we get everything locked in place, but it should be a fun evening with food, friends, and Fat Cat Swinger.
Yes.
So until then, everybody, have a fantastic rest of your week, and we will see you guys in the parks. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Sweet dreams, everyone.